Hey, everybody, welcome back to another daily drop here on Tar Heel 24/7. I'm publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today is Carolina football, in particular, cornerback Marcus Allen, senior cornerback Marcus Allen. Just seems like a couple weeks ago, he was starting the Clemson game in the ACC championship as a true freshman. And here he is, a ton of snaps later, almost 2,000 in his career. And he's the senior back there. He's a senior on the field. He's the field corner. You've got Thad Dixon as the boundary corner. You've got veterans in the secondary behind him at safety. A lot of talent at linebacker. A lot of numbers up front, a little uncertainty up front. But none of that matters with respect to what I'm saying here, what I'm talking about here. And that's Marcus Allen. Is this going to be a big year for him? Because the NFL will know what kind of defensive front he has and how that either challenges him or helps him. So he's going to be gauged as who he is. So let's isolate him from everything else in this discussion. The question is this going to be a big year for Marcus Allen? Is this the year he puts on tape and the NFL says, yeah, come on, somebody's going to take him? Because he's got the specs, 6 foot, almost 6'1.5", 6'2", almost 190 length. His body looks stronger. We talked to him last week. He looked a little more filled out. He's a smart guy. He's mature. And I wrote something about him earlier this week where I noted, or maybe it was about a week ago, where I noted in the Wake Forest game last year in last November, that was one of those landmark situations for him where he showed the maturity. He was able to hurdle, the kinds of things that hold back a lot of college athletes until they learn how to hurdle it. And he got a pass interference call in the first quarter on a drive that ended up with Wake Forest scoring. I think they got field goal. It was a terrible call. And it's the kind of call that weighs on you. You know, it's the called third strike in the batter in baseball goes back to the dugout and he's seething mad. And if he's Chili Davis or Bo Jackson, or whoever back in the day, I'm dating myself being old here, you snap the bat either over the leg, snap it like that, whatever. Anger, and it sticks with him. You got to get rid of it. Marcus Allen had a pass interference penalty that was a terrible call, but it didn't stick with him. And later in the game, he had a key interception ending Wake movement, and the Tar Heels ended up winning the game 31-24. And I remember asking him after that about transitioning, putting to bed the terrible call and being in place to make that interception. And he just said, basically, it was maturity. You have to lock in. You have to forget. You have to have a very short memory when you're playing at one of the corner spots. And that's a big part of it. A lot of guys look the part. When you watch dudes warm up and they're doing the drills, they look the part. Great hands, the gloves, everything. They look in the mirror and they're all primed out. They're perfect, right? Everybody's pretty. Get on the field, they can run. They can cut. They've got good eyes. They can track a ball. But can they overcome adversity in between snaps? Can they put something to bed quickly, learn from it, it's in the recesses of the mind, and then go on and make future plays on the next snap or later on in the game? That's the difference a lot of times between a guy that's pretty solid and a guy that's all conference. That's the difference a lot of times between a guy that's pretty solid and a guy who's on an NFL radar. And when you're almost 6'2" and you're 190 and you've got his intelligence, you've got his vision, you got his hands, you got his body type, and now his maturity. And I'm looking at this year thinking, you know what? Marcus Allen, I talked about other guys being breakout guys. We usually associate breakout with someone who hasn't played a whole lot before. But why can't Marcus Allen be a breakout guy? Why can't he go from being a pretty good corner to a great corner? I think he can. I think there's a chance he could have a massive season. And, you know, he had the advantage of Elijah Huzzie being on the other corner last year. And Elijah Huzzie's a really good player. Now he's got Thad Dixon on the other side. Thad was Big Ten honorable mention, all Big Ten honorable mention. Pretty good player, pretty good league. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's better for Marcus. Maybe Marcus makes him better. He said that their communication's been great. He's learned a lot from Thad just watching him play. A little bit of a different kind of player than Huzzy. So maybe this is it. He's played 1,821 defensive snaps for Carolina. He has 101 tackles in his career. He has 3 interceptions, 14 pass deflections, 21 stops. Stops are plays that result in failures for the opposing offense, which is good for a corner. You don't see a ton of action. And how about this? 132 targets, 79 receptions allowed, 1,127 yards, only 5 touchdowns. He's already been good. So maybe his launching point from good springs him to great. And I think the maturity, the senior year, knowing that, hey, this is a money year for him. This is a bank year for him. But some guys go into a bank year and they're thinking too much about the bank instead of what gets them there. I have a hunch that Marcus Allen is fully embracing every step along the way to that bank. And I think that's the kind of player you're going to see this year. I think Marcus Allen's going to have a really good year. I could be wrong. Been wrong before. But I'd like to see it. He's a nice guy. If you ever get a chance, he's a nice guy. Seems pretty humble. Doesn't have that typical football swag. He's got swag, but an on-the-field swag. He seems like a pretty regular guy. So he's someone that's easy to root for. If he has success, it'll be easy to look down there and say, yeah, good for him. And it's also easy because he's come a long way. He was thrown to the wolves in a huge game a few years ago. He had his back and forth, his up and down, but look at him now. And I think if the launching pad is pretty good, if that's the basis, very good could be what we say at the end of November. Let me know what you think about Marcus Allen, what kind of season he's going to have. How do you think he and Thad Dixon will play off each other there in the edge on the corners? Is he an NFL player? Is he not? Am I missing something? Am I reading too much into him? Let me know what you guys think on Facebook, the comments on our YouTube, on Twitter /X, and of course, on our message board. The message board conversations at Tar Heel 24/7 are outstanding. And the ones on the conversation about this will also be outstanding. And I look forward to checking it out. And the only way you can, 75% off, guys. Drop in the bucket. Come on over. Whole year of incredible content. If you liked us before and were with us before, imagine that on steroids and 1,000 times better. That's what we are at Tar Heel 24/7. I'm AJ, and I appreciate you stopping by.